I saw a Sand County Almanac, and one of the things that awes me about Leopold is, how could a biologist be that eloquent in his writing? It just some of the passages in his stuff just blows me away. And I just came on that. There's this one passage that is so touching, I cannot read it without bawling, but it's about this, he calls it Prairie Birthday. He starts with this, do you know the passage?
No, I've read the book, but I don't recall this.
Oh my God, it's like, it does it for me every time. He talks about this plant called Silphium, the genus Silphium, that is in Illinois, and this it's in this cemetery that has that fence that comes into a triangle, so that they can't mow it they can't mow in as far as the Silphium, so it's able to grow, and it's one of the last stands of that plant, and he said something like X amount of people drive by that cemetery or visit that cemetery every day, and nobody realizes, when the plant blooms in the spring, it has its own little celebration of the tall grass prairie when it blooms, and nobody, and he talks about the days when it tickled the bellies of buffalo, and then they wind up tearing the fence down because it's old and decrepit, and they start mowing it, and every year the plant will come up, but it'll be smaller and smaller, and one day it'll be gone. And he's just, that stuff, I just wish I could write like he does, because I think he's made a lot of advocates for wildlife, There's another passage that's really poignant to me, where he talks about this fierce, he calls it the fierce green fire, I think. Mm-hmm. Like he kills a wolf, I think in Wisconsin, and as he watches the fierce green fire dying in its eyes, this revelation comes to him that the wolf deserves a place in the ecosystem too, So, he's an inspiration to me, and people like Liz and Doris and Bill and Jim, or these all adding all of it as inspirations to me, and I hope that I'm an inspiration to somebody, and I don't know, I don't know if I am, and well, people tell me I am, I guess, but the other thing about me is I wonder why, because I think, I just did what everybody should do, it's like I saw something bad, I saw a wrong, and I just couldn't let it go on, I couldn't let it happen, and there was nobody else I would have gladly let somebody else do it, but and this is something that I've told people too, that it got to a point where it got to be more than just the land to me, it got to, like I had this sometimes stupid, naive feeling that this country was still a democracy, and that the Forest Service and the people of the Forest Service at the time were doing these things like clear cutting and allowing oil and gas because it was something for the best, who am I to question their decisions when I'm not a forester, and that somehow we'd entrusted them with this power to manage these lands for the good of mankind, for the future generations, and I'm suddenly becoming aware that that's not what they're doing. They're pandering to politics and to big money, and that made me really, really angry, you know? I mean, to the point where I was a raving lunatic about it, you know? I did crazy things like, I'd go to Kalispell. Like, my main problem was that nobody knew where the badger was. They were getting away with murder, you know? They were going to take this beautiful, pristine area and make an oil field out of it. And nobody was saying anything, you know? Because on the front at the time, they were able to do whatever the hell they wanted to do. And in some ways, you know, and this was my strength, I think, in that, you know, I was too dumb to to think that I couldn't do it. You know, I just felt like I'm going to do something about this, you know, and so I started like. Jonkel would ask me to come to the university here and give presentations on a school night, you know. So like I put in my day in Browning and then take off at 4 o'clock and make it to here by 8 so I could talk to a group, and then I'd have to teach the next day, you know. I did that a few times. I went to meetings in Kalispell all the time, you know. And I went to meetings in Great Falls. I felt like, you know, my effort is, and you know, and maybe it's something that I inherited from my mother, you know, and that is that I think basically a lot of times people do want to do good and do want to do the right thing. They just need to be educated as to what the right thing is. Talk to these kids, you know, when I'm invited, I'm asked, I'm asked to take them out, you know, and I took out, like I say, I took a group out from Wilderness and Civ this year, and you know, I'm like that with my new friends, with the Blackfeet too, you know, amongst the Blackfeet. I want them to know that they can make a difference, you know, that they not only. It's not only okay to fall in love with the place or fall in love with the land or become connected with the land, but they've got to know that if they act, it's not easy, the situation's cumbersome, but that they can make a difference, and we're proof positive of that. You know, we started as a little ragtag group that, you know, didn't know shit from Shinola about how to do anything. And we stopped development that was coming directly from the White House to develop. You know, that's phenomenal when you think about it, that this country actually has a mechanism for a little ragtag group of people like that to be able to go against the President of the United States, you know, because the situation was wrong, you know. It is, think about that. It is amazing, and I want everyone else to know that.